Hello. The primordial atmosphere of the Earth. The Earth was originally a ball of molten material. Its temperature is 5,000 degrees Celsius. On the surface, it reaches 10,000 degrees Celsius. For 1,000 years the Earth will look more like a star than a planet. When the Earth reaches its final size, the gases that make up its primitive atmosphere are hydrogen and helium. As mentioned above, the Earth, the star, has been able to transform hydrogen into helium, nucleosynthesis. This explains the composition of its primitive atmosphere, hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen is attracted to the little star, molten Earth, to maintain its combustion, like the stars. The heavier helium moves away and will form a layer on top of the hydrogen. Earth temperature was sufficient that she was able to start her cycle NOC, production of carbon here, in its atmosphere. Carbon being heavier than hydrogen and helium will form a layer above helium. Then nitrogen will form. The Earth still manufactures its oxygen according to the triple alpha process, which gas is the heaviest compared to all those created before it. It will form a layer above that of nitrogen. Once the Earth has cooled, the law is reversed. The heaviest gases will descend, whose oxygen, O, and light gases tend to escape at altitude, including hydrogen and helium, which in turn naturally transforms into hydrogen, whose volume will further increase. The upward and downward mechanical forces generated by these gases in the form of upward and downward currents. Oppose and compression is triggered, the heat increases. All the atoms of the gases present ionize and react with one another in plural chemical reactions. The hydrogen wanting to escape, it meets the carbon with which it reacts to give CH4. All the hydrogen will be consumed in this phase. Then, CH4 reacts with nitrogen to form NH3 until all of the hydrogen is consumed in this phase. Finally, NH3 reacts with oxygen to form torrents of water, synthesis of water and torrential rains. The water being very heavy falls on the ground. It cools it and flows towards the lower parts of the young globe earthly. This is how all the water on Earth was formed, far from the hypotheses of comets. The Earth continues until now to form its rainwater in the same way, all the hydrogen which is released. First of all volcanoes, secondly from the photolysis or photodissociation of oceanic waters by the action of sunlight, as well as the decomposition of water molecules in the upper atmosphere. Thirdly from the cracking of water, thermochemical process. Fourthly from the manufacture by certain microorganisms, bacteria and microalgae. Fifthly from the contact of sodium and water. All this hydrogen combines with oxygen to form rainwater in real explosive chemical reactions. The synthesis of water is explosive in the atmosphere. What are called thunderstorms, thunder and lightning rain, where we witness heavy rains. After the storm, a large amount of water remains suspended in the form of clouds that the winds will transport away from their place of birth while raining by coalescing condensation without lightning and without thunder. Rainwater does not form water vapor from evapotranspiration because this vapor is completely decomposed during its ascent into hydrogen and oxygen by the action of ultraviolet solar rays.